Nyupa. Nyupa.
Many of the places referred to in the Coronado expedition documents convey European efforts to capture the place names related by local residents who spoke languages that were foreign to them. In some cases, these names can be used to confirm their interaction with specific people or specific pueblos, which may help lay or reorient the route or extend documentary content. In other instances, once we know where the expeditionaries were along the route, we can ascertain what the word might have been based on who they interacted with. Some of the words have been thought to be of the Nahuatl language. Largely, this has been inferred because scholars haven't known which language to interpret the words in because we haven't known where the Europeans were along this portion of the route. There are also words that in some instances sounded or looked similar to those in Nahuatl, and the incorrect assumption was made that those words were, in fact, Nahuatl, such is the case with the word Nexpa, which refers to a river in southeastern Arizona, whose origin, the origin of the name has been assumed to be in the Nahuatl language. X in the Nahuatl language can be the SH sound. It can be other sounds as well, but it can be the SH sound in some cases, which is why Nexpa has been said Nexpa. But further analysis of the Spanish language at this time indicates that the X, even this early in time, sounds like an H or a J, which in Spanish are the same sound. Also, there were Nahuatl people on the expedition who spoke the Nahuatl language, so it's easy to suggest that words that are not locally known were in their language. In fact, some words were likely Nahuatlized or Hispanicized with respect to spelling, which is why it can be difficult to interpret them. Since those who wrote the accounts were not linguists or anthropologists, the transformation of these words through time and across languages can be substantial. At this point in our Coronado expedition studies here in Arizona, we have 10 expedition-related sites along the San Pedro River. These include Coronado expedition encampments and native villages occupied at the time of the expedition. These villagers were the Sobaipuri, who were ancestors of some of the people at San Javier, south of Tucson. These were the only settled people in this part of the state at this time. As is consistent with customary thought, we also know for sure now that the San Pedro is the Rio Nexpa, often said Nexpa. In all likelihood, this is the O'odham name for the river. Juan Jaramillo's account tells us that they called the river this, or at least this part of the river, they called the Nexpa. He mentions the name twice, while the word is not used again by any of the others who wrote about the expedition at the time or later. In one instance, Jaramillo stated, "From here, it takes about 4 days to go through the uninhabited area to another arroyo, which we understood to be called Nexpa." This wording clearly indicates that this was not the European name for the river, but that the name was conveyed by the locals, that this was the local name for it, which we understood to be called Nexpa. It's an O'odham word. And there's two possibilities for this word in the easternmost dialect of the O'odham language.
Nyupa. 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 Nyupa.
Nyupa.
Nyupa.
Okay, say it 2 or 3 more times.
Nyupa. Nyupa. Nyupa.
And that means black buzzard.
Then black-headed buzzard.
And so I guess there's several possibilities for how this could have, why this segment of the river or this area might have been called black-headed buzzard or black buzzard. One is that there's a lot of black-headed buzzards. It could have been a leader's name, but also it's the name of a clan for the people at Walk Now, correct?
Yes, exactly. That's what it is our clan here at Walk is the black-headed buzzard.
And so the possibility is the reason that Jaramillo referred to this area as Nexpa or black-headed buzzard or black buzzard, black vulture, is because people of that clan occupied that part of the river or the river as a whole.
Yes, yes, because I guess there would be our kinship people from there and here at Walk.
Yeah, so the Sobaipuri, either on that portion of the river or along the entire San Pedro River, were probably of the black buzzard or black vulture clan, just like many people at Walk are now.
Yes, because as far as I know, that's the clan for Walk. And like out west, the Thornton, their clan is a Bun, which is a coyote clan. So you can tell the difference when somebody says that their clan is a Bun coyote, that they're from out west. But Newick, which means buzzard, is our clan.
And the ending on that probably is the black part of buzzard.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
It is. It is.
So basically, it may be that all Sobaipuri ancestors were black buzzard.
Yeah.
Nuipa.
Yeah.
Nuipa.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Pretty interesting.
Very interesting.
Newickpa. Newickpa. Newickpa.
That sounds just like Nehpa or
Yeah.
something like that they were trying to capture.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Wow, it's incredible how just a word like that they wrote down can actually bring back the past. Isn't that incredible?
You get some kind of good feeling knowing that that's what it is, instead of the other word we were trying to use.
Yeah. It could be either one, but I I get the feeling it's this one. So
I do, yeah, so do I.
yeah, excellent.
Nyuyopa means like something that got out or escaped.
Running free.
Yeah, it's like I guess prisoners too, if they escaped, you would say Nyuyopa, they got out.
And you and I were discussing that given that the portion of the San Pedro River that Jaramillo was referencing when he used that term, he may have been referring to just a segment of the river, and it's where all of the Coronado expedition encampments cluster. It's where some of the Sobaipuri villages cluster, and it's where some of the later Jacome encampments cluster. And so it's very possible that what this was referring to was the jumping off location into the wilderness or into the Despoblado, the trail to Zuni. Does this make sense with that word?
Yes, yeah, it would. It would because, like you said, there was people all gathered there, and then some of them, well, some of them got out, or they, I guess the trail or whatever they use that to get out,
So another possibility that we discussed is that we know that this is very near the area where Diaz set up his 1539 encampment when he got stuck at Chilticothe for the winter because it was very cold and snowy and he couldn't move on to Cibola, which was his goal, was to check what Fray Marcos said about Cibola. And the archaeological record indicates that there was very likely a battle there that's not mentioned in the documentary record. And we discussed the possibility that that word could refer to him and some of his people escaping after the battle.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that sounds like another possible interpretation of what that word would mean.
Yeah, you can use that word to mean different, situations, like you mentioned about escaping or to get out. Um, Nuigpa, Nuigpa, which is the black-headed buzzard, and Nuigpa means to get out or escape.
These are the only two words O'odham linguists could think of that sound similar to the word heard in 1540 and later written by Jaramillo in Spanish. We can't be sure which of these two words Jaramillo was attempting to capture, or if the way these words sounded or other words now lost have changed through time. But archaeological, linguistic, and documentary sources have now been reconciled, indicating that this was an O'odham word spoken by the Sobaipuri in the 16th century on the San Pedro to these travelers within their homeland.